My name is Unimportant, and I'll tell you why. I know many feminists. I didn't learn about them until I went to college. Even as I was learning about them as a simple learning task, I didn't realize the woman giving the lecture was a feminist. I learned about first, second, and third wave feminism. I believed it was only some abstract ideology. I would stay after class to mention obvious contradictions, and she would gently give ground. She was a professor married to another professor at the same university I knew and had classes with. Looking back on it, she was probably aching to find an alpha male on the liberal arts campus. She even kept her maiden name in her marriage, but wouldn't even stand firm on feminist principles when challenged. I have to look back through my childhood to reevaluate the people who influenced my life. I remember my high school health teacher dispelling my religious myths, but replacing them with more harmful bullshit. When I was a freshman in high school, we learned about skeletal anatomy, and I went to my health teacher and asked why she didn't mention that men had fewer ribs than women. She explained men and women have the same number of bones. She would have done her due diligence by ending her answer with that. But she went on. She said men and women were identical. The only difference was their reproductive organs. It was only this year that I understand now the science rooted in how easily youth can be corrected. Children, and people in general, are unlikely to abandon their beliefs except under one condition. People, and in particular children, will only dispel their beliefs if they can be convinced they were lied to in the first place. She couldn't have been better poised to replace religious stories with feminist propaganda. I have to walk through my memories with caution now, wary of who had been injecting poison into my mind and my future. It reminds me of a quote that was read during the retirement celebration of one of my high school teachers' retirement ceremonies. It was by a man named Henry Adams. Quote, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops." End quote. I look back on the truth of that with bitterness. It is with this retrospect I now guard myself in the present. One of the most recent things I noticed was when the razor company Tesco reduced the cost of its pink razors to match its similarly built men's razors. The disgust I feel for a warping of capitalism due to feminist agenda is head-spinning because of what I now know. Women are praising a company for going against its self-interest based on the fact that women are too ignorant to purchase cheaper products. It is a mind-boggling event. Women's groups are simultaneously praising companies for bending over backward against their bottom line in an effort to appease public disapproval, while simultaneously acknowledging women will buy things at a higher price just because they are pink. It is an intellectual letdown of cosmic proportion. I happen to think there are certain things women ought not to pay for, such as a luxury tax on tampons, And as disgusting as it is, feminists have a strong case when they pick a day on their period to protest such things. But when a special interest movement behaves like the U.S. Constitution's founding fathers predicted, as a faction with its own interests above all, can diminish commerce, we must take pause. Women were never genetically predisposed to wield the power they now have. We live in dark times. And that is why my name's Unimportant. Like, comment, and subscribe for more about why my name is Unimportant.